Going, guys? Real Talk Tuesday with George Ying, and today I have my wife Lily Mo Ying here with me. Again, little bit different today, covering things. If you guys are new here, welcome. I do this every Tuesday, Real Talk Tuesday. I've done this for the last 2 years on Facebook. However, I noticed that they're deleting my videos every 30 days. So some of this content is created for people for free to watch and review and to take things off of. However, if it gets deleted, it does not reach you guys. And the content, I think, is the most valuable thing for to share with people. So I'm starting to do this on a streaming site. Still learning, so forgive me if things are not correctly placed. However, it's going to be placed on YouTube now permanently, and it'll be on social media at least for 30 days as well. Okay. So again, what is Real Talk? Real Talk is a place where we talk about the real topics every day, every week, every month, whatever it is that people are going through. Maybe questions that people call us on, students that we coach that have certain questions that we have to solve, and things that we face every day. And as we go through that, we want to bring it to you guys because we know that in the human experience that we have today, everybody is experiencing something similar at different times of their life. Okay. So if you're not experiencing now, eventually it'll hit you. Okay. If somebody in your family hasn't passed away, you're going to hit that one point. Okay. So it's just better to be proactive than reactive. Okay. So that's why we do this. We know that we can't reach every student out there, but if we post this enough, we hope that it helps you to eliminate some of the heartache and pain and problems that you might face. Let's say that you're in a dark place that you can't find somebody to talk to. Hopefully, this could be a light that helps you to understand, to guide you, to give you some clarity, and just another voice to talk to. Okay, because again, life is the most precious thing that we can experience. Even though I believe we're spirits having a human experience, this is our experience, is with people, with each other, learning about life, learning about death, learning about kind of what our purpose is. So again, today we're going to cover something very simple. However, I'm also going to talk about your opportunities. Should you want to coach with our coaching team, we would love to help you guys in wherever you guys are. If not, these are free episodes every Tuesday we do for about, I would say, between 15 or 30 minutes. We've done some that's longer, but these are free. So please like, share, comment, subscribe on YouTube so you can see us consistently. And at the same time, share with people that you know are having a hard time, whether they lost somebody or they're stuck or they lost their job or whatever that case is. We have all gone through it. And if we have not, eventually we will go through it anyways. So let's just talk about it, face it together, ask questions, and build a community around kind of supporting each other. All right. So the two things that we're going to talk about today, and again, this is Real Talk for a reason. Okay. I know there's like, I see Hmong Talk, I see other Real Talk, I see other stuff. I don't know what people do. Okay. But in my Real Talk, I thought of this name before I looked at other stuff. I called it Real Talk because it's something that I just want to hit play. And my wife knows because she has no scripts. Okay. I hit play and we talk about life. We talk about our experience. We talk about the people that we serve, and we share with each other so that you guys get an authentic version of how to solve something, or what are we facing, or what are we going through, and how do we help each other go through this. Okay. So that's why I call it Real Talk, because we have no scripts, we have nothing written down, we're not reading anything. We're talking to 101, just like if you had a coach, and we're talking about life, we're talking about situation, we're talking about your experience, and your problems or challenges that you face every day in real time. So I call that Real Talk. Okay. So Lily has no script. She didn't even know that she'll be up here with me today. I pulled it
I
out
was
of
called from downstairs.
Yes, I pulled it out of her meeting because I told her we're gonna do this, we're gonna talk about this, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about our program that we can offer to you guys should you guys want to do it. Again, we just want to give you guys whatever it is that you guys are looking for, that you guys need in order to prolong your happiness or to find your happiness or whatever that is. So first and foremost, the two questions that we posed today that I feel are what people are asking as of like right now or this week. We also had a student ask about this week. So how do you find balance in life? Okay. I know there's many questions you can ask. Okay. But the reason why I bring this up is I truly feel our coaching standard and our coaching position is by helping people to understand that you are having a human experience as a spirit. So you need to understand the spirituality of life. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason. There's many things you could believe in. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. Whatever you believe to be true is true. Okay. So understand that if you don't understand yourself and your spiritual self, or believe that there's a spiritual self, then I think you're going to face more challenges in life. You're going to face more problems. You're going to face an imbalance of life. I would say that where we are today in our relationship, nothing is considered perfect. Perfect is when you're dead. Why? Because you cannot make a mistake, right? You're already dead, right? However, as you're living, you're going to make mistakes. But balance, I would say, is understanding who you are, why you are where you are, and what is your purpose. Like, what are you serving? What are you giving to other people? So I felt like, helping people to understand balance in life to me means that it helps people to understand who they are, why they're here, what is missing in their life. Maybe a spiritual presence, maybe it's a gift that they're called to do that they don't want to do, or maybe it's the fact that they're not waking up to do something more powerful, more meaning, right? What would be your take on this?
Why would you say someone is unbalanced? Or how could someone be or know that they're unbalanced?
So I would say that you're unbalanced when you're unhappy in general. So what does that mean? That means that, okay, I go to work. Okay, let's look at the average American life, right? I wake up, hit the alarm, snooze 3-4 times, and you wake up. You hate to wake up. You go clean up. You go to work. You put on your outfit, whatever it is you need to do. You go to work. You clock in like normal people. Oh, okay, I got to call this person. I got to meet with the boss. I got to do this. Okay, crap. Like, oh, you know what? Lunchtime. Oh, I can't wait, right? I go take a lunch, and then, okay, lunch break. Oh, man, time is up. Okay, I go back to work. I don't want to work. And then, okay, I can't wait till it's 4 o'clock, so I clock out again. When you do that for a long time period, because we all have done that, right? When you do that for a long time period, and you feel like, is this all life is for, right? Am I just clocking in and clocking out every day, right? Like the movie Click. If you've never seen it, go watch the Adam Sandler movie Click, right? I think that it has a lot of valid points talking about balance, right? I would say that in that movie, he truly shows you the reason that if you fast forward life just to the fun things, life has no meaning at the end, right? So I would say that if you really think about balance, when I think about balance, I'm thinking about when you wake up every day, it should not be about, oh man, I hate what I do. I hate my work. Oh, why am I married to this person? Why do I have kids crying? Every day, first thing we hear is, I'm hungry, right? In our household, I'm hungry. Give me food. I'm thirsty. Something like that, right? And again, if you're a mother, you probably hear your name, right? Like my name doesn't get called that much, but my wife's name is very famous in our household, right? Every day is mama this, mama that, right? So I would say that the true essence of balance, in my opinion, is that you wake up, you're like, I'm so happy to be here. Like, okay, what can I do next? What is my calling today to go do? Do I serve people on real estate side? Do I serve people in the humbleness of being who you are? Do I serve people in, the crisis that you have to solve? If I would say, your balance when you know that you have a reason outside of work and crying babies, okay? And, oh, my wife wants me to massage her. If that's your problem, I don't feel like you have a balance. And balance is not 50-50, okay? That's the other thing I think people make a mistake thinking about, is that 50% of the time I talk to my wife and I spend time with her, and then 50% of the time I spend business. That doesn't balance you at the end. Because eventually she's going to say, well, I deserve 60% because I'm your spouse and 40% to your business, right? Why, if your 40% was more happy and 60% was like a burden? You see, like this is kind of what we've been told, right? So if that is the case, then you would spend 60% in your business and 40% in your wife. And guess what that becomes? That becomes a divorce. She's like, why you spend more time at work? Because I'm happier at work, right? So if you're happier at work, then why are you even married? You see, so when I talk about balance, there's so much to it, but I would say that balance does not mean that everything in life is equal. It means that you love your partner, you love your kids, you love what you do, you love who you are, and you love what you have. And if you don't have anything, you still love the fact you don't have anything.
So how do you find that?
I would say that, in my opinion, in this short, like, few minutes that we have here, the secret to finding that balance is finding your spiritual self, knowing that you exist for a reason, knowing that human body wise, this is who I am, but internally, this is not who I am. Okay, spiritually, for me, I found myself when I started coaching, whether it was real estate foundational coaching on how to build wealth, or life coaching with Tony Robbins' team about how do I find myself. When you do a lot of coaching, and even with KW, there's few coaching classes I've had in KW that helped me to ground what my purpose is. One of the things it taught me was build a life by design, not by default, right? So I would say that taking all these things and understanding it helped me to understand that my purpose is not selling a house. My purpose is not raising a family. My purpose is helping people to find their calling and pushing them to get there. Because if they don't get there, nobody else is going to come knocking. Nobody's going to knock on your door. Nobody's going to help you. Nobody's going to get you there. Nobody's going to believe in you more than me. I know that for a fact. That is my calling. All right. So when I wake up every day, I don't care if it's 6 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock or whatever time it is. When I wake up, I go to work. And I don't just go to work. I go fix what I am made to do. Do I call people today? Do I talk to people today? Do I serve real estate? Do I serve people in their divorces? Where do I serve people? I don't know, right? The calling changes every day. However, I would say that when you have your balance, that means you know that, okay, yesterday I took my son out, we're cutting grass and we're having fun cutting grass. I let him ride the lawnmower. And so, like, to me, a balance is just being able to enjoy the things that you want to do, right? Did I enjoy cutting grass? Not really, right? But it's fun when I do it because I make it a part of my balance. Like, I know this grounds me with Mother Nature. I get to see all the weeds I don't want to see. I pluck them and I still know that they're there for a reason, even though I don't like them, but I don't have a disagreement with them, right? This is their life, right? So I would say that in my definition of balance is that understanding your spiritual self, that you're here for a reason, that you have a bigger calling, and then understanding that everything you do is for a reason. You don't just meet people by accident.
So, at what point in your life did you come to realize that you needed to connect with your spiritual sense of being?
Oh
Like,
man, I think
like
this is
what
long.
what was it? Like,
Th-
what made you
this
realize?
this was long ago. Okay. Like I tell my wife all the time, again, men and women think very differently. However, I have thought about these concepts and ideas as a young kid. Why? I didn't have a younger brother. My younger sister doesn't like toys, right? And so we did different things. I always felt like as a kid, I didn't have that partner and I didn't have that brother or go-to person to play with. And I just didn't have what I thought a kid should have, right? And so I played He-Man by myself, right? I played Batman by myself. And I think as a young kid, I thought about these concepts what should I do to have fun? What can I do? How can I lead people? I didn't know I was thinking about these concepts, but I remember that every time we got into groups, I was trying to lead them to do something fun or great. Okay, I just knew I was not a follower by trade. Um, Even in school, in art class, in clothing design class, I wanted to create something that will mean something. I did not want to go to class just to say go to class, right? However, spiritually, I would say that it was harder to understand that I have a bigger calling. Okay, I think that truly came when I coached with Tony Robbins' team, to fully understand and embrace the power that you have as an individual and truly what your life means to other people. But as a younger kid, I realized that I have to set the tone and I have to make decisions because I don't know what my purpose is, but I know that I have to do something great. I knew that at a young age, just didn't know what it was.
So, what point was it when you actually came to realization that you had the balance in your life, that you had everything within you?
That's definitely at the Tony Robbins experience at UPW.
So, yeah. So, what happened?
I don't think it's something that happened. I think it's like if you study Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Abraham Maslow, very, very smart philosopher. I went through his whole history yesterday because my wife asked me questions. So I am a personality of, understanding data. So I would say if you look at his Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's not just about eating food and then getting to self-actualization, right? Self-actualization is at the top because until you get there, you don't hit a point where you are ready to give. That's what I feel. When you hit that top level of self-actualization, it does not mean that you have everything. It just means that I can eat a little bit, I can give a little bit, I can feel safe, I can have a relationship, and then now, you know what? I'm ready to give. right? And so I think that hitting that point is really when I started coaching with them, going to the second UPW. The first UPW virtual, I don't think I truly felt that. But the second UPW, I think we went there, it truly feels like why am I stressed about stuff, or why do I need to go sell 55 homes, or why do I need to make X amount of money, when life is about the balance. I mean, it was two different times that puts this together. One was UPW Live, where we started priming about life and forgiving people in your life, or forgiving yourself, or having compassion about the fact that you cannot be perfect, right? That was one of them. And the other time was in Fiji, when we went to Fiji, and I realized that I would say more than 90% of the people with us are all multimillionaires. No doubt. Just talking to them, their life is made, their goals are there, their companies are set. But there was one thing that I saw. I don't know if Lily saw the same thing, but one thing that I took away from there is that a lot of people were searching for what I had already. And they did not have this, but they had everything else. They had the money, they had the nice cars, they had the houses, they had a company, but they did not have the balance of I'm happy with life. I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with who I have. They did not have that. So I found myself at Fiji. I was enjoying my time talking to these people, trying to give to them as much as I could. Because when you have enough of something, like one of our young students that called us this week, I told him, like, if you don't fill your cup, you don't have anything to give because your cup is empty, right?
Mhm.
So I felt like the moment that I realized that, hey, like my cup is full and it's always been full and I can give away, and it's never going to come down, right? Because that's just who you are and that's how you feel. Then when we're at that Fiji event, I felt like a lot of the people that we met, and we met doctors, right? We met a pair that was a doctor. And when we talked about each other's story, I saw her when she was like 5 or 6 years old, her and her brother, based on the story that she told me. I saw her by just talking to her based on what our coach was teaching us. I saw her at her 5 and 6 year old time where she was getting beat up, and parents were telling her and her brother, hey, you guys are not good enough. I don't know why you're my kids. You guys would never become somebody, right? And even though she's a doctor today and she married a doctor, she could not get past that. And I think Lily talked to her too. So it's not just what I heard from her, but Lily got the same feeling. But that's the thing that amazed me, is that you go to those kind of events, you learn about life, but you learn that sometimes your gift is made to help these people. Their gift is made to help other people, right? They're doctors to help people, but internally, they're locked into this 4 or 5 year old child that has been beaten up their whole life and told that you're not good enough. So,
Mhm.
like, my ultimate goal that I know that was unleashed to understand why we're doing this today is really to help people to go back and not fix you, okay, because you're not broken,
Mhm.
but to go find the 3 year old, the 2 year old, the 5 year old you. And I want to help that kid wake up and say, hey, you know what? Like, you don't have to be stuck, right? Like, you were a little kid and you did not have the physical power or mental capability to defend yourself, but look where you are today, right? Because I feel like if you cannot wake up that person, your soul that has been locked in this cage by you because of the surrounding and the people, you cannot find balance. Spiritually, you're lost because your spirit has been stuck or beaten as a kid. And I feel like when we went to that event and we went to Fiji, I saw that in this. I don't know if you remember that older guy that was single, that was like 80 something years old.
Mhm.
Because I had a conversation with him and I could feel his pain. I know he might have been divorced before, but he got to a place where when I looked at him, he was like a old soul trapped in a young body that says, like, I never found love, I never found peace, I will die without happiness. That's what he kind of gave off to me. And so, like those kind of people, like, I feel like it's my calling to help, because before your time is up. I know I watched a video with Tony Robbins talking to oh my gosh, who is that lady that serves all the people? Remember I told you about this? um, Mother Teresa,
Mm.
I think, okay, if I'm not mistaken, he had a conversation with Mother Teresa when
Mhm.
she was ill. I think it was in Mexico. But his one thing that she told him that I thought was very powerful was that in the conversation, he bought a machine or something to go help her because she was like in the hospital, and she said, I can't be here. Like people need me, right? So she took off all her tubes and she still went out to go help people because she was sick and she still wanted to help people. And she told Tony Robbins, the reason why I do this is because I want to, like, in their deathbed when they're dying, I want them to know that like they're at peace. Like they're not alone. They're not dying alone and they're at peace. Like her all the stuff that she does was just for that moment that they don't die alone, that they have somebody, right? So I would say that hearing these things and learning from all these other coaches that came before us and all these great philosophers that came before us, we have to utilize what they do and they teach and what they know, and we have to internalize it and we have to go interpret. Okay, we don't recreate it because obviously they've done a lot of research, but we have to internalize it, and based on the role that we're in today and the society that we're faced with, we have to internalize it and regurgitate this by interpreting it to people. Okay, when they say this, like, how do you use it? Right. And so I feel like it's my calling by coaching with him to understand that we have to take this knowledge and wisdom, we have to give it to people in a way that they understand and help them to get out of that zone, whether it's an adult that they're stuck in or a child they're stuck in. One of the friends that we met, I forgot her name, but I think she's from Australia. She's a model. You remember that lady? Mm-hmm. Her story was that her brother died at a young age and she like can't forgive herself, that she feels alone. So when I talk to her, see, it's not an adult that's stuck. It's a child that's stuck, right? She can't let that brother go and she can't move on. And so she feels incompetent because I know we asked her, are you going to get married? She's like, I don't know, right? Because she can't build trust anymore because she doesn't trust herself. So these little things, we find that when you talk to people and you go to this event, I would say that that's what I call balance, because you can have all the money you want in the world, and if you can't get married because you don't trust them, you ain't never going to find balance, right? There is no balance there. Okay, forget 50-50. Mm-hmm. You only trust yourself, and eventually you don't trust yourself because now you start to doubt yourself. So when I talk about balance, I don't mean like 50-50. I mean like a balance of what you want in your life, what you write into your story, what life you want to design, and how do you get there? Because the balance is like, I have a spouse, I have kids, I have a home, I get to coach people, I get to teach people, I get to raise a family. I'm an outdoors guy. I love to see the outdoors. I love to play sports. My balance is doing everything I love to do in the time that I have. I don't know how you interpret that. What will be your interpretation of balance?
That's complicated. So are you saying that, I mean, you talked about spiritual balance.
Not spiritual balance.
At the beginning.
Not spiritual balance, okay? Not spiritual balance, understanding your spirituality so you can find balance, so you know why you're here, okay? Because if you don't believe you have a spiritual presence, you're not going to do anything. Mm-hmm. Nothing will mean anything. For example, the people that believe in God or Christ or Christian faith, right? See, you believe there's a higher power, so you want to do good. That's what I mean, is if you don't believe there's anything there, that you're here for a reason, you're not going to want to do good. Okay, mm-hmm. So you need to have some spiritual balance to know that you have a way and know that the things you do matter and they count for other people. It's not by accident.
I mean, what are qualities that, in terms of like people in life who have like this kind of balance in life?
Oh no, there's a lot. There's a lot. Okay, it's not a few people. Okay, like if you were to just, and again, we don't want to make this long, so let's not talk too much about this because we have two questions we want to cover. But the balance, if you want to see balance that reflects like life and business and spirituality and relationship, if you want to see this, I would say the few people that you see this on, Tony Robbins is first, one of the main one, him and his wife Sage, they replicate this very well. Okay, I'm not saying they're perfect. They balance each other in what they love and want to do and what they want to serve and where they want to go. They're a great, like couple to see this. Okay, they're a great couple to see this. I would say a person, okay, I don't even know if she's married today, but if you look at a person like Oprah, right? I'm not saying everything's perfect in her life because her story when she was young, nothing was perfect, right? But the balance of what she serves today is a spiritual balance. She's like, I'm a mother to everyone, right? I can serve anybody. I can give people anything, right? So it does not mean they're perfect. It does not mean your life is perfect. It doesn't mean that you will have a relationship. And to be honest, you don't need a relationship to be balanced. But if you don't have a relationship, sometimes you might not be balanced but that's your choice.
Mhm.
Okay. Nobody could tell you that you should get married or should get married. But if that is missing, then yes, you should have that. Because if that doesn't balance you and you don't feel complete, how do you become the best version? Right. So
Mhm.
again, balance is, I would just say that that's where balance should be, but let's not beat that up because there's way too much and you could talk about this topic forever. Okay.
Yeah.
Second question is, why do you feel lost sometimes in life? Why do you feel lost sometimes? Why would you feel lost sometimes?
Well, I think we feel lost when we don't understand our own identity, like who we are, and we question ourselves about why we're here or what our purpose is. Um, then we are not clear about our direction and what we're supposed to do uh, in our time on Earth. And so that's when we feel lost. In Hmong terms, I think they, of course, like they say "kapumpli," right, or or "kanchai," or "you're afraid." And I think when you're not like grounded within yourself, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, then you're gonna feel unconfident about who you are, and so you are lost.
So I have a very easy way to bring that together. What she talked about there, and this is something that we're going to be coaching on. Okay,
Mhm.
it's called be authentic to yourself. I would honestly say to you guys that if you are not authentic to yourself, who you are, why you're here, what is your purpose, what is your spiritual feeling? Like, do you feel afraid? Do you feel burdened? Do you feel scared? If you're not authentic to who you are or who you should be, one is you will be unbalanced. Two is you're going to feel lost. And they're not the same thing,
Mhm.
but they coincide. Okay. If you feel lost, you're going to be unbalanced, right? If unbalanced, eventually you're going to get lost, right? It doesn't happen automatically, but you can get there. So what does that look like? Let's say that you're unbalanced in your life and you do more of one thing than the other, or you don't have you love, right? Let's say it's just you working every single day, but you don't know your purpose while you're doing it, and you don't have the right balance of what you want in your life. I grind and grind and grind. And I met one of these agents in my office. I'm not going to say a name, but we had a conversation about this. I think he's a great hard worker that's been grinding so much. And he also mentioned to me that he gave away alcohol. He's been alcohol free for like 6 months to a year or something like that. And I'm very happy for him. But when I started talking to him, because it's my purpose, right? Is my purpose to solve your problem, even if you don't have one, okay? I'm always looking for it because that's what makes me happy, is to help you solve your problems if you have anything. And I saw the fact that he's been grinding, working corporate life 6 7 years now, and single, and always dated the wrong person, and he's one of the top agents. But yet when I asked him, like, hey, okay, well, why don't you take a day off? Oh, I don't take days off. I'm grinding. I'm like, okay, well, why, if you had a week off, where would you go? I don't know. Who would you go with? I don't know. You see? So in his balance, automatically, if we're just talking about the first question, he doesn't have balance. He's a great worker, hard worker. People trust him, people use him, but he still comes home empty. Inside, he's empty, right? His balance inside is just, I work and I serve people, but I don't serve myself. So I told him, your number one thing, if I was your coach, is you got to serve yourself. You served people for many years. You served corporate for many years, but you did not serve yourself. You did not do the justice of being sober, happy, finding the right person to add to your life, and you're not content. And therefore, as you grow, you become grouchier because you're unbalanced and you're not happy inside. So then what happens? Eventually you feel lost. He hasn't reached that point yet, but he's right on that borderline of I'm going to get lost, right? And what do people call it in America today? Mental crisis, right? Mental
Mhm.
breakdown, right? And then they just tell people, oh, I had mental illness, so oh yeah, it's not my fault. It's just,
Or midlife crisis.
yeah, I mean, it could be any of that, right? But it ties back down to the balance of what you want to do and do you get to do it? Can you serve yourself there? And at the same time, do you feel found versus lost? And found is you got to find yourself, which is what
Mhm.
we were on discovery when we went to coach with Tony Robbins. Discovery of who we are, how do we do more business? How do we have a better relationship? But in that journey, we did not know that we would find our calling of who we are meant to be in this lifetime and what is our service to other people. So that's why we do these calls and real talk and stuff like this. And that's why we have such a passion for it, because this is where we're called to serve people. Does not matter what background you're in, what color you are, what religion you believe in. Everything is here as an option. You could believe everything or you could believe nothing. But if you truly believe nothing, you wouldn't be here today anyways. Okay, because it doesn't serve you, right? We were not born from thin air. We had some past. There is something that can trace. But I would say that that's kind of where our coaching system comes from, to really help people understand your spiritual self, your balance in your life. Who are you? What purpose do you serve? And when you know that and you are not lost and you are found and you have balance, I believe your cup becomes full all the time and you're constantly giving. And the more you give, the more full your cup becomes. So it's like you never run out. And that's the reason why our coach, Tony Robbins, he still does this. Even though he's a multi-billionaire, he still coaches at the same level one-on-one and in person, because this is what fills him up. And I've learned that this is what excites me, is to help people fill themselves up and understand where they are, solve their little, what they call midlife crisis, right? But it's a small problem, right? That creates a larger problem if you don't fix it. So again, sometimes if you don't know your calling and you don't serve people and you don't know they're supposed to serve people, I feel like that's where you lose your balance and then you become lost. So that's why I felt like, from the conversations that we had this week with individuals, and some of them are students, I felt like this was an important topic to talk about, even though some of these cross over. I think that if you don't find the balance of what you love to do every year and you don't find yourself, eventually you become lost. And then they call that depressed, and they call it mental state of unwellness. And then the end term is suicide, right? Because if you have nothing else to live for, why would you live, right? And I'm not saying we have all the knowledge and wisdom to solve everything, but our goal is to help people get to a happy place in life, a balanced place in life. Know that you're worth more, know what your value is, know who you are and why you're here, so that nobody could tell you you're not good enough. Oh, you're a child by mistake, or oh yeah, nobody loves you, or you have no mom and dad. You don't need a mom and dad. The rest of the world is your brother and sister and mom and dads everywhere you go. But sometimes you don't know this, because as a spirit being a human in a human body, we relate mom and dad to whoever you're born to, right? But it's truly not that. If you go out there, especially our experience in Fiji, I met people that are like brother and sisters from another mother. Like, you feel connected, like you're spiritually just one. However, the case, even though you're not from the same family, it doesn't change. But it's because we were coached to that level to understand that when when you reach the self actualization, you open up your mind and you let everything come in. You're not afraid of anything. But that's how you get to fearlessness, and that's how you are able to solve your own problems, where it's not perfect, but you know exactly what you're supposed to do. And as you do what you're supposed to do, the rest of your life, it comes back 10 times. And that's what Zig Ziglar's quote is all about, right? But I would say the other last thing I want to leave you guys with here is the fact that Lily will be the one in charge of this, okay, that will be posting on this page somewhere so you guys can see it, is that it'll talk about exactly who we are, what we do, what kind of coaching program we're going to start off with, and what kind of students we could really help. And it, to be honest, is helping people to go through their spiritual journey of, you don't have to go to church, you don't have to go do these things, but to find out that you are important, to find out that the 5-year-old you is still there and crying and or hiding. Let's help you find that person, solve that problem, wake up to who you are today, and live your life, live your fullest life, right? Live your fullest life so you don't look back, you're not sad and you're not burdened. Whatever you have today, you can create. Your future is not dictated by your past. It's dictated by decisions that you make today to move forward, to do better, to have better. And as you do those things, we honestly believe, from what we've learned from our coaches, your life will change. So Lily will post something about it, our flyer, on what the costs are, a 6-month program, 12-month program. If there's a specialized thing that you need, we will talk about it and see what we can do to help. However, I know it's not for everyone. Some people, maybe they don't need a coach, or they're not ready for a coach, or maybe they already have a coach, right? Every single coach is different. Every mentor in your life is different. Go after somebody who can shave 20 years off your life so you don't have to live the next 10, 20 years depressed, sad, lost, unbalanced in life. That's the whole reason for coaching, is you want to be able to get something that will elevate your life 10, 20 years in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can live like you would be 20 years from now or 30 years from now, instead of, for the last 50 years, I've been burdened and sad and depressed. And all of a sudden I wake up now, right? Wake up now instead of waiting until you're 65 and retired. And then you realize, crap, like, you know what? It's just me that told myself I wasn't good enough. It wasn't those people out there. But see, we don't understand that, right? That's why you need a coach to help guide, mentor, and take you through these journey so that you have self-reflection to truly understand where you are and where you need to go, right? So that's something that we are launching here. We've been wanting to do this for a while now, but we have students asking for it. So we want to launch and start helping people. I don't know the number of people that we can handle at one time. However, that's what we'll face when we start talking to you guys one-on-one. And we'll do our best to help you guys get to your goals and to solve these problems. And at the end of that journey, you'll not be the same person. I know that for a fact. We went through that in our journey. Our relationship is not the same. You become a new person. You have this new identity, and you grow to become whoever you want to be, to elevate yourself. Whether it's a person that's a multimillionaire or a multi-billionaire, or you just want to write 5 books, or whatever the case is, right? Whatever it is, it starts with your mental psychology of who you are, your emotional fitness of how do I feel about things that happen to me. And if you can conquer that, okay, based on everything we've learned, if you can conquer those things, nobody's going to stop you. You're going to have zero fear, right? So our goal is to help you guys get there. That's what we do in our niche and what we like to focus on. And we've been doing that for many years now, but we really want to stay focused on helping people get there. So we are launching that company to help people in that side. And if you want to be a student, if you want to learn about the program, message Lily. Again, it will be tied to her. Lily will be the person in charge of that. She'll be posting flyers so you guys can see that. So we would love to help you guys. We'd love to coach you guys. We'd love to help you guys get to whatever it is you guys want to get to. This is not tied to real estate. However, real estate is a part of our journey because we had lots of questions about real estate. So on that journey of real estate, it brought us here. Okay. So we want to give people whatever we've learned to help them in multiple sides of their life to reach the goal that they're looking for. So when your time is up, people should not be coming to your ceremony to cry that you're gone. They should be coming there to bless you that you have blessed them. That's at least our goal and our attention and what we're trying to do. All right. You have anything else to add?
No, live authentically.
All right, guys.
Peace out.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys Real Talk Tuesday next week. Please like, share, comment, and share this with anybody who can use this or is in need of this. Life is so important. You got to start living today. Stop living tomorrow. Live today. Embrace who you are and enjoy your time, because we do not know what our time is. We don't know how much time we have, right? Thank you, guys. All right. Bye.